Welcome to your tutorial number 4 for CSCI 130. Today we're gonna discuss how is that we can read data provided by the user of our application, and how is that we can actually display data, and how is that we're gonna use some buttons to have some action being executed. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so chapter 4 and chapter 5 in your textbook presents an application like the one that is displayed here in figure 4.1, in which we're gonna get information from the user, and we're expecting the user to type in these two text boxes, and we're gonna multiply the numbers, the two numbers that are provided by the user, and display that number on this label next to what it says total once we click on the button that says calculate total. Then what they want to introduce in chapter 4 is that, okay, the idea that we're going to use a text box, that is the way that the user can enter data from the keyboard, and the way that we want to execute some type of action is that we're going to click, in this case, on a button that is the one that says calculate total, and when we click it, then we execute the multiplication, and the result of the multiplication of those two numbers is going to be displayed on a label. Okay, so here they just make a difference between what is a text box and a label, and text box is basically that we're expecting some data, so and on the label we display some data. Okay, so in this example they say, let's suppose that the user is providing number 3 and number 15, then the answer should be the multiplication of those two numbers, which is 45, and that's the one that they show on figure 4.3. Once I'm done with the PowerPoint, I'm gonna go into Visual Basic and actually show how we're gonna be doing this. Okay, so in this they explain that, to be able to execute what we want by clicking on the button, we need to be able to have some type of action, and I'm gonna show this soon. And this is the code that we're gonna be displaying on this is the way how we're gonna display the answer of the multiplication of the values that are in those two text boxes into the label. So don't worry, we're doing this very soon. Okay, so now this is my, you need to go and open your Visual Basic and create a new project in Visual Basic. So what I'm gonna do is, this is the form, and as you may remember from the previous tutorial that we were working about graphical user interface, I'm gonna change the size of the form and select the form, go where it says text. I'm gonna change the text, and I'm gonna type inventory. So I want this to look as close as possible as the interface the book explains on figure 4.1. So they have I think 3 or 4 labels, so let's go and get the labels. So from the toolbox we look for a label, so we click on the label, and then we drag, type one label, and then we type what they have on there, CARTOONS per SHIPMENT. Okay, so I got it. And they got another label, so we're gonna click again where it says label, so we're clicking on that, and then for that we're typing items, so this is items per CARTON. Okay, so I got that. Then I just gonna align them. I think in your textbook it comes in your textbook it comes with a CD, and they usually mention that you can get the files instead of creating the files from the CD. So I just don't like to do this. So here I'm gonna add a column here, and here I'm also gonna add column there. Now something else that I see that they got now 2 text boxes, and that's how we're gonna read the information. So I'm gonna look for the text box, so it's right there, one. Like that, I'm gonna copy that. I'm gonna right click, copy, paste it, put that right there. Okay, now they have another label, so we're gonna click where it says label, that says total. So I'm changing the text, and I have the TOTAL column. Gonna open a space, and then they have another label for the answer. Now for this label, we gonna go and change what it says auto size. Right here it says true. We're gonna change it to false, because we're gonna take away the text. I mean, we don't want that to display label 4. So where it says text, we gonna delete that, and gonna go where it says border style. It says none. We're gonna say let's I think they have a fixed 3D. Okay, so it looks like that, and we need a button, so let's put it right there, and then they have the text on the button should say calculate total. Okay, so we're done with the interface. So now I'm gonna press F5 to look at the interface. Okay, so I'm waiting. So oops, so this is my interface. Now if I type, I don't know, 3 and 15, and then click on calculate total, nothing happens, right? So now we need to add some type of action to this button, and that's what they were explaining on that PowerPoint. So to do that, we select the button, we actually double click on that. Now be careful that you don't delete anything from here. So now on there we're gonna type an action, and then the action that we want is that we want to display on a label. So I'm gonna go back. You see here there are tabs, so this is for the code and this is for the design. Now this label has a name that says label 4. So I want to display the answer of multiplying whatever is on this label and on this, on this text box, and whatever is the value of this text box, we want to multiply those two and display that answer on this label, which is label 4. And the name of this text box is text box 1, and this is a text box 2. Okay, so we go back over here, and then I'm gonna say label 4, that's the name of the label, dot text. I want to be able to change the text, and then we're gonna say equals. That text should come from the multiplication of the value entered in each one of those text boxes. So we're gonna say text box 1 dot text. Okay, and then we're gonna say time text box 2 dot text. Okay, so let's review what we did. So here I said, okay, change the text of what we have on label 4, and now the text should be whatever is this times this. Now there is a problem with that I'm gonna explain this soon. So what we're gonna do to test it, we're gonna press F5 again, and now this is my interface. Now I'm typing number 3, number 15, and then I'm gonna click on here, and it shows 45. Now it looks okay because I'm giving numbers, but if I type something else that is not a number, I'm gonna have problems, because if I type like, I don't know, letter Q times 15, then the program is gonna say, I don't know, what do you mean by Q times 15? So what we need to do is we need to be sure that what we're getting on each of the text boxes is a numerical value. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say that is a value, so we're gonna say VAL and then enclose that in parentheses. So we open a parenthesis and then we close this parenthesis. So what it says is whatever is on text box 1, be sure that is a numerical value, and then the same we're doing on the second text box too. Okay, so now I'm gonna press F5 one more time, and this is my interface. So if I type again 12 and 3, 36, it works. Now if I put QUE times 3, it says 0. In my previous version without the val thing, it will say I don't know what it is. So whenever I'm typing something else that is not a number, it takes that as a 0. Okay, this is it for this tutorial. In the next one, I'm gonna explain more. I'm gonna give more examples about the val function that we use for text boxes. So please check the next tutorial.